Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, we are continuing the book Namacharya, Haridasa Thakur, written by Rupa Vilasadasa. So we started the chapter 8 yesterday. Mataji went through first few pages. So here is talking about glorious revelations and departure. So relieving the Lord Chaitanya's anxiety. So I think the yesterday topic was talking about how Chaitanya Charitamrita, the term Yavana does not refer to any particular group, but those it refers to the persons who are violent killers of cow and Brahmanical culture, and how with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercy, they can able to uh, relieved by Namabasa. Whoever can do Namabasa is an amazingly merciful arrangement of the Lord, allowing uh, a person to benefit from chanting the holy name inadvertently. So, starting today, there are so many words in various languages containing the holy name. For example, in English, we have many words which are commonly vibrated, which contain the embedded syllable om, like home, comb, dome, gnome, Rome, etc. There are cities which contain names of God like Rome, Nome, Tallahassee, Allah, mortals like Ramada in Rama, etc. Haridasa Thakura points out that the Lord is so merciful that he even credits such unconscious chanting of the holy name as Nama Basa. Even if the syllables of the holy name are pronounced incorrectly, they will still act. However, the inconceivable power or mystery of the holy name does not permit us to abuse that power. When we have come in contact with a devotee, he or she instructs us to have respect for the name and to pronounce it in the proper attitude. Similarly, other religious traditions also prescribe devotional attitudes when chanting the Lord's name. Haridasa Thakur also gives the examples of giving the Lord names to children, so that throughout the day we are vibrating the holy name, citing the incidents of Ajamila, who was delivered by sincerely chanting the name of his son Narayana despite Ajamila's many previous sinful acts. Haridasa Thakura states, even a faint light from the holy name of the Lord can eradicate all the reactions of sinful life, because even the faintest trace of the effulgence of the Lord's holy name, one can attain liberation. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he was very pleased, but inquired further about the moving and non-moving living beings like trees, plants, insects, and other living entities. How could they be delivered? Haridasa Thakura immediately replied that by the Lord's own chanting, such deliverance had already been accomplished by chanting in the Jharkhanda forest, and by the benediction given to Vasudeva Datta by the Lord to deliver all the living beings in the universe. The delivery of all living beings had been achieved simply by the desire of Vasudeva Datta, a great devotee whose compassion and affection for all living beings had reached a level inconceivable to most human beings. Although secretly amazed and very pleased by Haridasa Thakura's analysis, the Lord raised a doubt. If all the living entities were liberated, the entire universe would be devoid of all living beings. Haridasa Thakura immediately explained that when the Lord delivered all moving and non moving beings in different species, he then awakened the living beings who were not yet embodied and thus repopulated the universe. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that a prison never remains empty. There are always criminals to refill it. The Thakura explained how in Lord Rama's and Lord Krishna's appearances, they similarly freed all living entities. He then spoke with great awe and appreciation of the Lord's kindness, quoting the Vishnu Purana 4.15.17. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be seen, glorified, or remembered with an attitude of envy, he nevertheless awards the most confidential liberation, which is rarely achieved by the demigods and demons. What can be said of those who are already fully engaged in devotional service to the Lord? Haridasa Thakura continued, by descending as an incarnation of in Navadvipa, you, just like Krishna, have already delivered all the living entities of the universe. One may say that he understands the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He may know whatever he may know, but as far as I am concerned, this is my conclusion. My dear Lord, your pastimes are just like an ocean of nectar. It is not possible for me to conceive how great that ocean is, or even to understand a drop of it. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard of all these conclusive and profound remarks, he was astonished. He began to silently consider, these are actually my confidential pastimes. How could Haridasa have understood them? To summarize, if one were to look at the conversation between Haridasa Thakura and Mahaprabhu as a discussion about how to deliver people from Yavana influence, a few items are prominent. First, Mahaprabhu represented the problems of Yavana culture. Then Haridasa elevated the conversation to the spiritual level by citing the power of chanting the holy name. Mahaprabhu countered by asking about other entities aside from humans. Such questions follows perfectly because Haridasa had put a discussion on a spiritual level where there are no bodily distinctions. Again, Haridasa Thakura gives a wonderful answer explaining that deliverance is ultimately the pleasure of the Lord. In reverse order, the pleasure of the Lord is the highest goal of living and being. The chanting of his name is the most important way to make connection with the Lord and offer him some service, some pleasure. Finally, in a cultural setting, individuals and societies that avoid meat eating and elevate the devotees of the Lord provide the basis for spiritual advancement. Our path towards giving pleasure to the Lord in this way, the Lord and his devotee Haridasa Thakura have stressed the Lord's pleasure or his service and his name as the greatest strategies for deliverance and the for counteracting the Yavana's influence. I think I can stop here. So it's the conversation between how Haridasa Thakur and Mahaprabhu took place. You know how Yavanas can be delivered and power up the holy name, even if one can utter the name of the Lord, attentively, inattentively, by knowingly or unknowingly, that has a power. And I think we are hearing, first time in this book or maybe before, but see, the deliverance is the ultimate pleasure of the Lord. I think that stands out well to me, and obviously in the reverse order, pleasure of Lord is the highest goal of living being. So it's like a vice versa, right? For the living being or devotees, pleasing the Lord is the highest goal, and for the Lord, delivering is the ultimate pleasure for the Lord. And as Haridasa Thakur is a external associate of Mahaprabhu, and that's why he could able to cite this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime in this conversation. So as we see, they are in a spiritual level just to make us understand and give the importance and uh, holy name. I think this conversation is taking place, and as we have been knowing or being hearing more and more, lots, Lord's pleasure or service or his name is the greatest strategies for deliverance and for countering the Yavana influence. And it's also mentioned like, following the regulative principles, especially, not eating the meat, is the beginning or, foundation step for the spiritual advancement in any society. So the more people, follow regulative principles, give up the meat eating, and that obviously brings the spiritual qualities and uh, blissfulness. With that, we can stop here and we'll go to the next one.